Welcome back, everyone, to another reaction video. Well, ever since this one came out a month or so ago, I cannot release a video on my channel without at least several comments asking me to do a reaction to Leaders of History Rap Cypher by Rustage. I'm not familiar with the channel, but he's got 1.6 million subscribers, and this video came out a month ago, has almost 800,000 views, so obviously a lot of people have seen it. I've done a bunch of epic rap battles of history over time, so I guess this will be something similar to that. I'll put the link down in the description so you can check it out without my commentary. What I'll try to do is I'll try to pause here and there and see what I can catch as far as references go, and talk a little bit about the history behind those references. I'm sure with a 10.5-minute video, I'm not going to catch everything, and I'm not going to try to catch everything. I don't want to cover every single little thing that gets mentioned, so if there's something I don't talk about, use the comment section below to talk about it so we can all learn some history together. I want to thank Alex in Grand Forks, North Dakota, who is our latest patron at the producer level. And Alex, starting today, you're going to see your name at the end credits during the screen where videos pop up at the end as our latest producer level patron. Thank you so much for your support. Let's go ahead and dive into this one. All right, wait, so let's pause real quick and take a look at who we're getting into here. Julius Caesar, Ramses II, Cyrus the Great, Alexander the Great. I'm not familiar with Seondeok, Wu Zetian, Tokugawa, Genghis Khan, Alfred the Great, Harold Bluetooth, Charlemagne, Chandragupta, Mansa Musa, Shaka Zulu, Suleiman, Catherine the Great, Philip II, Moctezuma, Napoleon, and George Washington. Interesting.
Yeah, they see my legionnaires and my eagles better than my flyer. Go ask my captors, say a price, I gon' tell them higher.
So yeah, so right off the bat, we're making references to eagles, which is the standard that was atop. These were the standards that were carried by his legions, and these were really big deals. If you lost one of those eagles, it was really shameful. And of course, he's talking about captives. At one point, Julius Caesar was a captive. There was a big problem with pirates in the Roman Republic at that time, and he actually told one of the pirates who held him captive that they weren't asking for enough money, and then once he got ransomed, he went back after them all. I think he ended up slaughtering them.
My name in months and titles, no, I'm the man they admire.
My name in months and titles, yeah, July, right now, the month we're in, named after Julius Caesar, and Caesar, or Kaiser, as it was called in the Latin language, it would be pronounced Kaiser, which is where we get Kaiser and Tsar. So the titles of many emperors across history all come from Caesar.
I gon' forge the flames of empires. Don't wanna fuck with a Caesar. Big leader, res republic, current consul and speaker. Colosseum, cause I'm deciding fates are doing center stage, but they were stuck in the beaches.
Well, I don't like the idea of mentioning the Colosseum in reference to Julius Caesar, because Julius Caesar dies well over a century before the Colosseum was built. The Colosseum was built late 70s AD, and Julius Caesar had been gone for, what, 120 years at that point.
He just took a learn some etiquette. They play like Shakespeare, heavy verse and rhetoric. A Pompey talking till he hurt his head. A bit of king to a slave like the verse and rhetoric.
So it talks about Pompey talking till he loses his head. Famously, these guys were close. They were family. Pompey actually is married to Julius Caesar's daughter at one point, and then they have a falling out, and there's a civil war. And if you've ever seen HBO's Rome, you see the very famous scene where Caesar is pursuing Pompey. Pompey goes to Egypt, where he is betrayed and is killed and beheaded, and then in HBO's Rome, they present his head to Julius Caesar, who one of the best scenes in the whole series, when he's like, he was a consul of Rome. And then he talks about Vercingetorix, who is the leader of the Gauls that Julius Caesar defeats and holds prisoner for years until he brings him back to Rome, parades him through the streets, and then has him strangled to death. Veni Vidi Vici, I came, I saw, I conquered.
Got the money like a crisis hidden London to the masses. They can call me a dictator cause the sinner getting needed even better when you see me leaving.
Wow.
Like I see these other members of the continent are getting it like maybe hitting Cleo down on Egypt in my bed. I never titty like guys back in BC.
When I was at war,
Now we're on to Ramses II. So when you go to Egypt, and if you haven't been to Egypt, come along. We've still got a couple of spots available on the December trip to Egypt. I was there back in February. Amazing experience, and that's why we planned another tour. Ramses II literally put his name on everything. It's the easiest cartouche. So in hieroglyphics, when you have the name of a pharaoh, it's written in such a way that it's got like this symbol around it that you know. It's called a cartouche. It's a royal name, and they're really easy to spot. And Ramses became really easy to spot because his name was on everything. And so you're like, oh, there's Ramses II again. Oh, there it is again. Oh, there he is again. Oh, there's 5 statues of Ramses II. He put his name on everything.
And my body aches because I'm soon to hit 90, and you and my hundreds of wives are invited to buy, and I might have decided and now it's how long I rate.
So it talks about his hundreds of wives. If you go to the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, you'll see Ramses II's tomb, and the guy had like 80 or 90 royal children with all of these wives that he had. It was crazy.
I made for the betterment of Egypt. Every enemy that threatened me is said to be defeated. But with Ali, you can tally if you're dead. He is truly dead, but that's on a man. I swear that's happened because I said it. It's not to amateurs as long as grand. You put them on your pantheon. Aussie man, the solely stands as a fucking rye. You'll never cook as hard as Gordon Ramsay. Got your mouth when the king.
Gordon Ramsay. Cyrus the Great.
I heard y'all was talking, y'all Babylon and on. Call your army, let's get this shit. I pull up to your border and cause a disturbance. They shaking, I'm making them nervous. Really the greatest, my service they worship. I can't get no blood on this shirt, man, it's Persian. I can cock your bitch.
So Cyrus the Great, he's mentioned in the Old Testament in the Bible, is one of the great. I think he's Persian, because you got the Persians and the Medes, and you've got the Babylonians, and in quick succession, one is conquering the other. And so in my own head, I can't remember which is which.
That's for certain. Top 5, I'm getting a vote. My drip so deep, my fits on fleek, my flow like water. I see my note, don't make me reach. I'm getting so close, they all rejoice just to look upon me. Get on your knees, it's CTG, 600 BC, still an OG.
Like greatest, make way for us and make way or pain in the name 6 sentiment, leaving no terrain that is safe for them. Made a layways, take them and pay great benefit, great and DA committed. I commit the campaigns to the
The Achaemenid Empire is the ones ruling Persia when Alexander the Great comes in and conquers everything and makes it Greek.
The frame shim at the maze, glisten the clip in the quicker it fades. 10 minutes of cutting close, facing the low trigger fade difference. Pain driven made, hit to stay feeling, they get in my way, fatally slay my name. And it's in the KDA, changing the game and no gains given. Your face with the greatest, the day I stay winning. His dad is
Tell you what, it's all going so fast, I'm having a hard time even catching things. I ought to probably slow it down, but we'll keep going.
claim dependent on my survival. Conquest, baby, stand ready for my arrival. Concept and principle, I'm just invincible. You're gonna fit in my title.
Make way for the wise and generous, switching minds at the stuck on a pendulum.
So I'm guessing that we're going further east here, and we're dealing with someone that's in Central or Eastern Asia, and that's why I'm not familiar with this one.
Hate a woman so much the planet set me up. Love a queen so much
She's a
make
woman.
it like a bus. Like a chick queen, I'm the to the young, the woman to the death. They don't know that they need me now. 표정과 유성을 볼 수 있게 정상된 내가 만들었지 나. 가른을 거치지가 않은 테마. Like the foundation of a unified combat. 신라유지 17대 손으로 켜. 여주부는 설리가 헛소리. Focus on my people and all the stories. 전혀 향기가 없는 것이. I need a man taking all my glory. Prayer for my downfall, got him start searching. Building up the tower that they use it for observing. Cause I'm buried in the country that I helped to make it flourish. See them in my name at the time of big worship.
Only empress ruthless, and I had to be. You think men are impressive, have them try it as ladies.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing with women. Women did, in fact, have to. I mean, when in the rare times when they came to power, they had to be better than the equal of a man in that time, right? Because they were facing unique challenges. I'm not familiar with her story, but obviously, you have Hatshepsut in Egypt. You have people like Elizabeth I and Mary I in England. You have others in other places, Catherine the Great in Russia. And in each case, they've got to be at least better than average just to get by because they face unique challenges being women.
When I took over the court, then I took over the country. Trying to grow, egon boom, but they judge me as cruel. We're ready for the fist I rule with. Prejudice, get of this new movement. Watch out, crown myself now. So bow down on your knees. I've seized my dynasty.
Gawa. Now we've done some of his story. It's all in Japanese, so there's not a lot I can do to translate at this point. I do have a friend that's in Japan right now, though. Fascinating story, and if you haven't seen the series that we did taking a look at the Sengoku Jidai, it's really, really good stuff. Genghis Khan. Everybody's got a little bit of me in them. There's been some studies that have been done on DNA who say that certain parts of the world, like a big chunk of the population, can trace its DNA directly back to Genghis Khan because the guy was having children all over the place. And so I think that's what that references to.
Alfred the Great, son of the wolf, wills power and grace. Show you I learned and merciful men make a kingdom from ashes and scour the dead.
So it talks about learned and merciful men. Alfred the Great was always kind of sickly and not real physically strong, but what he didn't have physically, he more than made up for with his mind. I see a lot of parallels with Alfred the Great and Caesar Augustus, the first emperor of the Roman Empire. Again, used his mind, wasn't necessarily the greatest warrior on the battlefield. And Alfred the Great did not create England, though in many ways he's seen as kind of the father of England because it was his dream to create a united England. This is a time when you still have Wessex and Mercia and Northumbria, and you have these different kingdoms, and you have the Danes, as they're known, that are a part of this. And if you've ever seen shows like The Last Kingdom, Alfred the Great plays very prominently in all of that. Yeah, he had a bunch of brothers who came before him, and he's the last man standing after all of that.
My deck, goddamn life was a trial by death, but by God's good light, man, I passed that test. On the English monarch to have earned the grit, made the pig a fake kid and learned their place. You're a monster mercy and I turned the fifth. Might have won the battle, but I burned the kids. Met the Pope in Rome and God spoke, said my man Alfie's a top bloke. When it comes to the art of war, I'm ahead of my time like crossbows. See, I'm moving bardic, so damn charming, loyal man, I got those. King of the Anglo-Saxons, might have lost fights, but you'll never hear me lost toes. Harold Gormson,
Harold Bluetooth.
Where I was born from. I'm well respected in the ruining who's who. If you're connected, you can call me Bluetooth. I made it and sailing, invading and raiding. Rearranging the brains of the pagan and raining. Behold, he's a man for all seasons.
Never occurred to me, but the symbol for Bluetooth looks kind of like I never thought about the fact that it's a rune. Is that a reference to Harold Bluetooth? That just, wow, mind blown. It is like a runic symbol, which are amazing, by the way. If you go to like northern Scotland, you go to places like Orkney, which I highly recommend for anybody who ever has a chance. You get to see some of the runes carved in places, even like stuff that's graffiti. It's really, really cool.
Whether you're Norwegian or even more Old Zealand. A cold heathens in cold Zealand. Your boy Harold Heathen brought peace to the whole region. Oh Jesus, you reckon you're bringing the heavy bars and hard lines? You want yours, I took a stone and carved mine. Inscribe it in wound. Your life is in wound. Carolus Magnus, Charlemagne.
Carolus Magnus, Charlemagne, Carolus Magnus, they all mean the thing. Charles the Great. Just depends on the language that you're looking at.
Charlemagne's got Bavaria, Saxony, part of Spain, and nobody's ever walked that path again. And you could hardly name a place, a nation state ungraced by the great that Charles became. Left the path that claims to kickstart the art on the heart of Aachen like a Von Marie.
The heart of Aachen, that's where he is buried today. His bones are there. That's kind of where Aachen Cathedral was kind of his seat of power. Francia was the name of the region, and of course it got split up after his death, and then you ended up with the West Franks, which became France. The East Franks became Germany. Lotharingia was in the middle area there. And yeah, I mean, there's a reason why all of the European powers who came after him wanted to trace their lineage back to Charlemagne, and most of them could, because that gave them legitimacy, that gave them some sense of authority.
Systems into existence, miss it, dominissi, for instance, schmooze the pump and picked up the Christians, there ain't no resisting my England.
A huge part of Charlemagne's story is the fact that he is crowned I think Christmas Day 800. I actually have a picture of me kneeling in the exact spot where he knelt to be crowned in 800. It's really cool. It's in St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. Not the existing one, but the one that sat on the site before that. But he gave himself legitimacy by being crowned by the Pope, but then also gave the Pope a sense of legitimacy by allowing the Pope to crown him. And so there's this sense that the church and the state kind of lent each other power and legitimacy, and that would last for a long time to come.
Pilgrims flock when I bid them go, plus I got that holy Roman diplomacy. God knows when I grip that rose, so they have hurt Mr. Worldwide Gods and globally.
Gupta. I love that they're doing these all in another language. I just don't know what the heck he's saying. Although, I mean, in that sense, shouldn't Charlemagne's have been done in German or in Latin at least? And Alexander the Great could have been done in Greek. Ancient Greek, Koine Greek. Mansa Musa.
Disrespect, I'm only king and check is not a thing. I boom me kind of means like boom, bada bing. Or cause inflation by giving to the poor too many donations.
My understanding is considered to be one of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest man who's ever lived.
The mass producer, cash influence, if a path to do stuff big in architecture. Who need to protect us? Just check the neck for necklace collector. Assalamu alaikum, right from my location, 60,000.
Assalamu alaikum. That's I don't remember what it means, but I know in Arabic it's a greeting of some kind.
But nobody can take us. Mecca, what I pray to Muslim too. Without me, there would be no Timbuktu. It's crazy if you ain't heard of me. I'm responsible for many universities. So say what you want, ain't no burning me when I provided too many people's first degree.
That's cool. And we are going to be taking a look real soon at Epic History. Did 2 videos, one on how Christianity spread and became the most popular religion in the world, and how Islam spread and became the second most popular religion in the world. We're going to be taking a look at both of those in the near future. Looks like we're on to Shaka Zulu. I remember growing up, there was a TV series, like a mini-series on Shaka Zulu, and I was fascinated by it. And it's one of, like, I guess my kids would call it the core memories of childhood for me.
Scatter, Shaka, toe tagger, the best village ransacker, Zulu banner, short spit stabber, coming like Caesar but blacker. Who's gonna make a Zulu nation? Look at tribe train like a choo-choo station.
Yeah, he brought military discipline to his people and brought them the strategies that they would end up using later, many decades later in the Zulu War. But he's a lot like George Washington in a sense, in that he united people in a common cause. And even though in his case he's ultimately betrayed, I think, by a brother, he's kind of seen in many ways as the father of that 19th century Zulu nation.
Recognize who you facing, pin it through down like a voodoo patient. Beatle with no sweat, turning people to peaceful and you're dead. You beat call me lethal when you're set to be regal and lethal when I step. I'm an African warrior. Hit your rank with a flank with a loin stay tucked.
Hit your rank with the flank with a loin stay tucked. They had this strategy where you had the horns, you had the head of a bull, and the horns that would kind of outflank, and then the loins were the reserve that would be sent in at the end.
But the horns you still get more, you know.
Suleiman the Magnificent, yep.
Well, not to me, bitch, my kingdom just blossom. So fuck your feelings, I'm reaching out. Rushing on me, they'll pay my tax. I'll drape it on me, I made my stack. I'm saying sorry, they take that back. You standing in the presence of a God. I can see the crack in your facade.
I like this one. Captain the Great.
Cowards, they bowed to my feet. Political power was out of my reach until this was shouted upon me beneath.
I'm the queen that we're blessed with the charge. Out of crown as my spouse until death did us part.
So Catherine the Great was actually, she was born, I guess, in what is modern day Poland, but she was German. She was Prussian, but she very much, once she becomes the consort to the Russian Tsar, very much identifies herself as Russian and becomes, once she gets, is it Paul? She gets rid of him, and then things get a lot better for her.
I expanded the West and embarked on your culture and arts. New approaches to start, new roads to be paved, new expansions to mar, new surfs to be free, new plans to be sparked. Promote education and open the hearts of the openly spoken church. Global remarks, reform, advocation on modern advancement, diplomacy, big territory enhancements, the legacy to be remembered for ages. Catherine the Great, really Catherine the Greatest.
Disculpen, could you shut up for a millisecond? It's Philip II. Let me set the record straight. King of Spain, England, Netherlands, and some other lands.
England, so he's Habsburg, and so he's got Habsburg. The Netherlands were under Habsburg control at that time. He's king of Spain. He marries Queen Mary I, the daughter of Henry VIII.
Remember that many names, I changed the game. They never forget my reign so great. No one's ever met a single domain so lit. Cause here the sun never sets, okay? Siempre que me siento en mi trono me centro. Por eso volví capital a Madrid. Felipe don't need goes right in his sheet. I sign every chance that I send to the streets. Girl, are you feeling filled? You could be my queen. Where's my Philippines? Si la gota me agota and I'm really ill. Bury me wearing this secret.
Imagine had he and Mary had a son. That son would have been the heir to Spain and England. Instead of England and Scotland uniting under one crown, which they would do a generation later, you would have England and Spain under one crown. Crazy to think about. Moctezuma. Now we're in Mexico. Tenochtitlan was the capital. It's basically where modern Mexico City is. Incredible feat of engineering to be able to build a city in an area that was basically flooded by water. Magnificent kingdom that has existed for a couple of hundred years at this point. But then they get conquered by the Spanish.
I
don't know Spanish very well. Napoleon. Napoleon the Great, it said. So I'm surprised he doesn't have that title. He talks about the Rosetta Stone, which you can see in the British Museum in London today, but it was found by Napoleon, and he took a bunch of savants. He took all these educated scientists and Egyptologists and people when he went to Egypt, because Napoleon was never just a military mind. He was always concerned about science and mathematics and the arts, and he was very much a sponsor of those things and very much interested in those things. I don't think he was a psychopath, though. Huh. Now, I do know French, but it's all going so fast it's hard to keep up.
What is the son to a founding father? Lead teams with feet and I couldn't sleep. And you mock child to me so I wouldn't speak. And when I knew a true beast, what's some more than teeth? Okay, toast boy.
He actually, we don't really think he had wooden teeth. His teeth were made from all kinds of different places. Yes, sometimes teeth were taken from slaves, but that was rare. They would be taken from bodies sometimes, but they'd be made from ivory, they'd be made from metal, they'd be made from all sorts of different things.
They didn't give me a place. I surveyed land and now I'm off of the map. Delegation, how I'm rocking the stages. With nasty rains like intolerable acts. Go up in a tug.
So the intolerable acts is referring to one of the many taxes that were issued before the revolution that led up to it.
I'm a raw while on the field here at shots fired. Delaware River, the flow you couldn't cross out.
Delaware River, I mean, for all of Washington's deficiencies as a general, he got outflanked and outsmarted regularly. The crossing of the Delaware and the attack on Trenton and the week that followed with things like the Battle of Princeton and another battle at Trenton, brilliant, absolutely brilliant and daring.
Even as a little child, I cannot lie. Christmas package for the enemy, no gift of rapping. Leave them in the cold, give them frostbite. Cherry tree swing, hot shot grind. Before Porsche, high speed horsepower like a Mach 5. Shots swinging if you tryna bust. Got cannons punching with the damaging blow. Real precedent for all the future presidents. Knockout wave.
Yeah, Washington needs to get a ton of credit just for the fact that he became president when nobody knew what that looked like yet. A lot of what became the precedents for what a president does are because that's what Washington did.
Like Mel Rushmore, they froze in the face. Rolling Stone, and you standing there cold. Immortalized, I am the man in the mold. Even when I die, I can't abandon my home. Yeah.
All right. All right, there was a lot there. Obviously, I didn't cover nearly everything that got mentioned. A lot of it goes by so fast. So let's use the comment section below and talk about some of your favorite lines from some of the different people who appeared in that. And check out the original, if you would, over on their channel. Give them a like and give them some watch time as well. I want to thank Sal in Anaheim, California, and Martin Soroki in the Czech Republic for your support on Patreon for a long time now, going all the way back to November. I really appreciate it. If you want to learn more about how to support the channel on Patreon, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching.